Another team that I think is flying under the radar, mostly because of how they ended last season, Trey, the Pitt Panthers. Panthers were 7-0. This felt like the average golf round, right? When we're out there playing on some muni, really good going out, you make it to the turn, you're feeling good, and then you just collapse down the back nine. That was Pitt. 7-0 going out. They have all these injuries, including to Eli Holstein, and they go 0-6 coming home, including a just gut-wrenching bowl loss to Toledo. It felt like Pitt rose in prominence and folks were starting to believe in Pat Narduzzi and, oh my gosh, Pitt might be an ACC contender, might be a relevant for the playoff this year. And then because of the way they collapsed, I just quite frankly haven't heard a lot of noise nationally about them this season, but they return a lot of their production on offense, and there's some really nice pieces. I think in the front seven of this defense that give me hope that Pitt could certainly be dangerous.
Remind me, I need to make a hot dog at the turn joke when we get to the schedule if I forget. But you're right. I'm high on Pitt this year. I think that the 7-0 start last year certainly showed what they're capable of. And they bring a lot of those pieces back this year. You mentioned Eli Holstein. I think he is going to take a step this year towards being one of the top quarterbacks in the ACC. I don't know if that's top 3. I don't know if it's top 5, but he flashed a lot last year. It's a talented kid. He can do it with his arm and his legs. They bring back Desmond Reed, who was a 1,000-yard rusher last year and also added almost 600 yards through the air. That is one of the most underrated players in all of college football, a two-way back. And I think my only concern on the offensive side of the ball is maybe just the depth at receiver. They're losing some of their top guys, losing their top receiver from last year, but Kenny Johnson and Raphael Williams had some nice moments last year. We got to see if they can step up. If they can kind of take the next step into being the dudes in that room, then I think I'm fine with the receiving core. And my only remaining concern is just if injury luck kind of evens out on the offensive line, because everyone wants to talk about Eli Holstein's injury. There was also injuries on the offensive line that really derailed that season down the stretch last year and made it just almost impossible for them to get anything going on the offensive side of the ball toward down the stretch. So yeah, it's a really fun offense. They brought in a new offensive coordinator last year that was one of the youngest, Cade Bell, one of the youngest in all of FBS. And we kind of highlighted that jokingly, saying, Pat Narduzzi's kind of rethinking his strategy, right? And it turned out to be really fun and really exciting, and it worked. So I'm excited to see year 2 of that system too, and just how Pitt's able to really capitalize on another year in that system and being a fun offensive team. It's just something still so new for Pitt that we're still having to get used to.
Yeah. Bell came over from Western Carolina where he ran the air raid. Pitt had a top 25 passing offense last year, and that was really off of half a season worth of consistent production, right? You look down that back half of the schedule where they lost every game. They got blown out at SMU. That was the train was off the tracks very early in Dallas. But then they hold Virginia to 24. They hold Clemson the next week to 24. They got boat raced by Louisville. They held Boston College to 24. And then just in a truly wheels off 6 overtime game above Sports Bowl lose to Toledo. That, I mean, we were driving back from Des Moines and I had that on my phone. And I mean, you talk about entertainment to pass the hours of cornfields and rolling Kansas hills. Game Above Sports Bowl did that for me. So, shout out to Toledo and Pitt for that. The defense, the passing defense scares me a little bit. They were kind of a quarterback's wildest dream last year, 122nd in the country. You could throw on the Pitt Panthers. Can they improve on that? Can they improve on the mark of nearly 30 points per game averaged out across the entire season, right? And like I read through a number of those losses, it wasn't necessarily week to week. They were giving up almost 30 points, but they did have a game or two where they got boat raced. So finding that consistency, I think they've got some nice pieces at linebacker, soul of the defense. I like the front four as well. Talk to me about the schedule, because the schedule has I think a relatively soft opening. Duquesne and Central Michigan, you should be able to take care of no problem. West Virginia in the Backyard Brawl will be fascinating to watch, and a great rivalry game there. And then you've got Louisville and Boston College to open conference play. Could be a tricky spot to get some momentum going in the ACC, but at the same time, if you pass those tests, I think Pat Narduzzi and the boys start feeling themselves.
That's the hot dog at the turn joke, because that's the turn, right? At Florida State, at Syracuse, back-to-back weeks. And if it's a nice quality dog at the turn in the clubhouse, then we're good. We're firing all cylinders on the back nine, right? Maybe we're birdieing number 10 and really feeling off to the races.
Sure.
If it's a low quality Walmart dog that's odds and ends and it just upsets your stomach, you're running for the outhouse at the 12th hole. And so I really do think, to make this analogy just go even further, those two games are the key on the schedule for me, because you go to West Virginia. They lost the last time they were in Morgantown, but that's a team that's rebuilding. Don't know if they're going to be quite ready to knock off Pitt yet in Game 3 under Rich Rod. Host Louisville and Boston College. I think I would pick Pitt in both of those games right now. I know I'm high on Louisville, but that's in Pittsburgh. Okay. So I think Louisville has more unknowns. We'll talk more about that, but I think Louisville might have more unknowns on offense going into this year than Pitt does. And if they can get past Louisville, then they're going to go into that stretch, that turn, at 5-0, most likely. And then if it's a good hot dog at the turn and you're 7-0, I mean, right after that, it's NC State at home and at Stanford. So there's a real possibility, if they're firing all cylinders in those two road games, we could be talking about an 8 or 9-0 Pitt. I don't think that's remotely out of the question. I'm getting 2 or 3 steps ahead of myself, but you gave me the hot dog analogy. It was low-hanging fruit. And if we're getting a Costco dog at the turn, like, man, sign me up, and we're going to be talking about 8 or 9-0 Pitt going into a big stretch where they're playing for something really huge.
My last golf trip with the boys, we started by going to get lunch at Costco as we loaded up on some essential supplies. And you know what? I'd credit the Costco dog to my best tournament performance to date. Played some really, really good golf. So if it worked for me, it can work for Pitt. I don't know if there are Costco's up in the Pittsburgh area, but boy, they might need to ship some in if not, to get those vibes going. It's funny. I have 9-3. I think is my absolute ceiling. I'm probably not as high on Pitt as you are. But if they can knock off Miami at home, beat Syracuse on the road, like, it starts to get fun, 9-3, and maybe beyond that pretty fast.
Absolutely. And I think they've got the two most important positions figured out. I'm really high on Eli Holstein. Didn't get to mention it, but the pass rush might be the best in the conference. They had 41 sacks last year, and they bring back, I think, their top 4 guys from a stack standpoint. It's not just one guy that was leading the way last year. It was really spread out. So, this is a team I'm really high on, and I'll go to bat for him here in preview season.
Love it. Love it. Pitt Panther fans, get on board our hype train. Come join us over here at the 3 Tech Pod. Glad to have you. If you're discovering us through this YouTube video or through this clip on your podcasting feed, welcome. We're very excited to watch Pitt football this year.